I can check on the YouTube.
And we are coming to you live from the Varsity Tips Center from the Accounting High Times. Oof. I just went live and I don't know what I'm going to say. I guess this is the accountant bracket challenge. This is round 3 results show live special stream with special guests. So, we've got our the head of our media center here at Accounting High, Terrell Turner, back again from round 1. We've got Blake Oliver, who's also on the faculty at Accounting High, here to represent his teams in the bracket challenge. And we've got Allison Ball, who also was a star of the show last week. She was the round 2 darling show.
That
Allison
was so
won.
fun.
You won a prize last
I
week.
did. I did. I won a mouse pad with debits and credits on it, like the T accounts. So freaking cool
From
from
our
from
lovely Kate
bookkeeping.
Josephine
Side
Johnson.
hustle. I know. And I'm so geeky. I love it. Jan Haugo years ago gave me a scarf with debits and credits on it, which is like one of my favorite things. And now I've got the mouse pad to match. Just like,
Oh, this is so dope. I forget them every time. I forget
ah,
my
T
debits and
accounts are a
credits.
beautiful thing.
Yeah. So I was just about to say right before we started recording that it's awesome to have both of you guys on because you went head to head this week. The Grove and Earmark went head to head.
Which is so lame because we work together. Like if you take a course, if you take a, I was just like, I don't want to go against them. That's not like I want to cheer them on. So I don't mind who wins, really. I think that's just awesome.
But do you know who else also went head to head this week on the other side of Blake's teams? Cloud Accounting Podcast and Accounting High also went head to head. So we went head to head this week too.
Oh yeah,
We'll
yeah,
see if Blake
yeah.
reigns supreme. We're gonna
King
we're gonna
Blake.
go
We're
over
gonna
those
have to call him
brackets
King
results
Blake.
today.
Yeah.
This could either be a victory celebration for me, or I could go home crying. We'll find out.
Go big or go home, Blake.
Yeah.
So, well, why don't you guys share your platforms or at least talk about them a little bit because for Allison, at least, Licio, sad to say, is no longer in the tournament.
Yeah, that
Um,
was pretty cheesy. I got some words about that. No, I'm kidding. We did well. I thought we did really well.
you did.
We did well. And so lots of people voted for us, which was really awesome. So thank you all those people. And then the Grove was, we were just overjoyed that so many people voted for the Grove. So that was amazing.
Well, tell me what the Grove is, because honestly, like
Yeah.
I had to look it up when I saw it was nominated, and when I was looking through the nominations, I didn't know
Yeah.
what the Grove was, and somebody
Yeah.
said it's
Yeah.
Allison's thing.
Yeah, well, it's not Allison's thing. It's that we are it's powered by the Lisio team, but really it's kind of it's everybody's thing. We have content from a whole gang of people. It's not just Lisio stuff. And the Lisio team is behind it, but the reason that we started it was we needed a place to be able to expand the conversation past the things that Lisio solves, right? Because Lisio is always at the front of the train, right? I always describe Lisio as the most important and to your practice, and it's like nailing your client experience and help making it really easy for them to work with your firm, and giving visibility to the staff. But it's like there's so much more that we needed to educate on, and there was so many more conversations, like security and document exchange and just all these sorts of different things. And so we were like, well, we really need a community that's platform agnostic, really, that doesn't we don't really mind what you use. It's just come and learn. And so it kind of was a rolling ball that gathered a lot of wonderful moss. And we've just put a partnership in place with Earmark, where if you come to one of our webinars, a select number of them, we give the CPE through Earmark. That's super cool. Um, we're just working on a course now the FTC has just put some new regulations around the IRS Pub 4557, and it's going to so in June 9th, so we're working on a course to teach people actually how to comply with all of that. So think of it as a how to, rather than just like a lot of places tell you what you got to do, but they don't tell you how to do it. The Grove's going to tell you how to do it.
I love it.
Yeah.
And
I'm
So that,
sold. I'm
yeah,
sold.
yeah,
and you
yeah.
guys, your colors are very similar. So you offering earmark there is kind of fitting.
We're actually in the middle of a rebrand on the Grove, so that our colors are going to get more campfirey and more warm. So we'll be a little more differentiated. Right now, we're kind of this nice green, and the green will stay, but there'll be some other colors that'll come in too. So more to come on that.
Lots of green on the bracket this week, as we'll see when we move forward. All right. So, and then Blake, I think we all know what Earmark and Cloud Accounting Podcast are, but if you care to pitch something to us, go ahead and talk about whatever you're hot on right now.
Let me give you the one floor elevator pitch, right? So earmark, we add CPE to podcasts. That's about as simple as it gets. If it's an audio file or a video file, hey, it could be a YouTube video like this one. We add CPE to it in a
Mhm.
mobile app. So super
So cool.
excited to be working with Allison and the Grove and Licio on that. That's awesome. And the Cloud Accounting Podcast, of course. We just had Terrell on the show this past week.
Look at
That was on,
that. None of this was
yeah,
planned either. This was just it
no.
just happens to be Terrell's everywhere. He's
Just
ubiquitous
all
now.
good.
And he got like the overwhelming guest treatment where we had so much news to cover. We just like steamrolled through all the news, and he offered amazing commentary on it, and that was a lot of fun. So
Yeah.
I spend a lot of time in my studio up in my extra bedroom, so I figured I'd do this stream from the backyard. It's a beautiful day here in Arizona. I got to do
I was
my
actually
part.
wondering if you were lying on the beach. It sort of looks like you're lying down and like you've
That
got
So
does
like.
look a little bit like
here
sand.
is
Oh,
here
there
is
we
my
go.
little
Oh,
yard here,
nice. Oh, that's
you
beautiful,
know.
Blake.
Nice.
Wow.
And yeah, we have a little preserve out there, like coyotes as they call them around here, go wander through there, and bobcats and
Javelina.
javelinas,
Yeah.
Gila woodpeckers. I have this beautiful mural
This
of a Gila
sounds like
woodpecker.
this sounds like mascots for teams. We got the coyotes, we got the bobcats,
Yeah,
we got the woodpeckers.
yeah, yeah,
So,
yeah.
what's the
Uh,
mascot for Earmark? What's the mascot for Cloud Accounting Podcast?
so Earmark doesn't have a mascot yet. We could come up with one on this episode, Scott. That would be really helpful, actually.
Yeah,
It should be something from Arizona. I feel like. Oh, I
I
see
think I want
Michael
to. I
Lee.
would say a
He's in the
javelina.
chat.
Javelinas are.
Javelina.
Michael
They're
Lee is the
super like.
mascot. How about that? That is the mascot. Michael Lee's the
I,
mascot.
So, Allison, I would say javelinas totally, but they stink. They're the worst smelling animal you've ever smelled
They're so
in your
cute
life.
though. I've never been close
They're,
to one. They're so cute though.
you can smell them coming.
Yeah.
Yeah, there's packs that roam my neighborhood, packs of javelinas. Anyway, I got us all sidetracked here. My
It's all
point
right.
was it's a beautiful day. Oh, and I'm trying to be a good model for the accounting profession, right? If we want more
Mm,
people to come into accounting, we need to demonstrate to them that
mhm,
we have a life on the weekends, right?
mhm,
Here I
mhm.
am. If you want to be a CPA, you could live this lifestyle. You just got to move to a low cost area like Arizona. But yeah, you can live this lifestyle.
Mm.
So I was thinking the other day, we did a bonus bracket already, and it was sort of a joke. It was the tax bracket, and it was just kind of you can't have a bracket challenge without having the tax bracket. Although tax platforms were
I,
just
I
weren't
did
that
think that
popular,
pun was really cute. I just thought it was like, yeah, the tax bracket.
and I got a text from Byron during the week, and he says we should just do bracket challenges all year round. He says every month we should have a different bracket.
Mm.
And before I could respond to his, I had already lined up ready to send him something else. So I'm going to reveal what I sent him. I also posted this on the socials. I'm sure you guys all saw it. We have another bonus bracket for the bracket challenge. I don't think we're going to do it all year round because that was an idea I floated to Terrell earlier, and he also said probably not a good idea to do it all year round. Let's keep it. Let's just keep it for March. This is March aptness. So for our bonus bracket, we have the breakfast bracket. Now, I revealed this was sort of a joke. It started as a joke, and I just put it out there, and
Oh,
it got more comments than anything I've posted on social media in
it's
the
so
past year.
cute.
Yeah, it was like everybody had an opinion. So I redid the bracket based on all the comments on LinkedIn and Twitter, and we'll reveal what that bracket looks like now for everybody. So
I mean,
here
people
is-
are passionate about their breakfast foods.
why do you think that, Terrell?
It's the
Why are
most
people
important meal of the
passionate?
day. What do you
Yeah.
think? Isn't it, Terrell? I don't know.
I will say, I mean, I think one is because it's the easiest meal of the day to cook. So if you're not that great of a cook, breakfast you can knock it out. I don't know. I just have so many good memories around like breakfast or slash brunch food. So I mean, that's my reason.
It's my favorite food of the day. Blake, how do
Brunch
you
is
feel?
super civilized.
I feel like there aren't that many breakfast items, so that's what makes it so easy to do as a bracket, and that's what makes it so controversial because people also tend to eat the same thing for breakfast,
Hmm.
right? Like if you're a pancake person, you're eating pancakes. You're eating pancakes like every meal, even if you get an omelet, you're eating pancakes. So that to me is why people are very
Even if you get an
passionate.
omelet, you're getting a pancake on the side. Is that
Exactly. If you're a pancake person, you always get the
Are you eating
pancakes.
Denny's?
Like
so?
that's right.
Grand slam.
So at first, I did it as the sort of like, I want to see pancakes and waffles go against each other, and somebody made a comment like making them go against each other in the final. They may not. So I put them up against each other in the first round. So
Mm.
the heated debate of
So you
pancakes and
have to
waffles
decide. Yeah.
will have to be decided in the first round. I also took away the normal like cereal and Pop Tarts and
And oatmeal. Oatmeal didn't make it on at
oh,
all.
you know what? Oatmeal probably should have. Some people commented on oatmeal, but
Hmm.
I had to put cold pizza in there. Like two different people had cold pizza, so cold pizza had to make it on there. It's going up against French toast in the first round. We've got biscuits and gravy got a lot of love. So biscuits and
Yes.
gravy is going up against
Was
bacon
that
and
like all the
eggs.
people from the South?
I think so.
Although
Yeah, it
I
was a
have
lot
to
of
tell you,
southern.
as somebody who was raised in Canada, biscuits and gravy is like, oof.
You don't
It
like it?
doesn't look very good. Well, okay, it actually turns out it's delicious, right? Like it's actually really tasty. But when you see it, you're like, ooh,
Yeah, yeah.
because it's that white gravy, right? It doesn't. And if you're
It
hungover, it's
looks
like,
like
oh my
something that you
God,
kind of
it,
chewed up and
yeah.
spit back
Oh,
out.
it's
Like,
not.
yeah.
Yeah, yeah.
Allison, what do people eat for breakfast in Canada?
Most of these things, but not biscuits and gravy.
They definitely have
Okay.
Canadian bacon up there,
Like
Yeah,
right?
yeah,
is
yeah.
Do they
there a
call it
stereo
Canadian bacon? In Canada, do they call it Canadian bacon?
They just call it bacon. But
Okay,
yeah,
fair enough.
yeah, yeah.
is is
Back
there a
bacon. It's called back
stereotypical
bacon, actually. Mm.
Canadian breakfast?
I don't. Well, it might be regional. See, I'm from the West Coast, so we're a little bit more like, I don't know. Don't want to use the wrong word, but we don't have so many regional quirks. So we have like lots of
This is a
things.
very
But
Canadian answer, you know?
yeah, yeah. There's definitely the focus on the big breakfast, like when you go like a brunch. Like breakfast places are really popular here, right? So there's lines like around the corner to get in them, right? And they'll have like a really big breakfast. And there's some places that will give you like full on like what you'd think of like like lunch or dinner things choices for like you could get like ribs or you could get whatever for breakfast.
For
So
breakfast. Wow.
Canadian, well, Canadians take their breakfast really serious. It's a
Okay. Good to know.
I would
it's
hope a
big.
lot of
Wow.
Canadians vote on this bonus bracket
Um,
as well.
Mhm. Mhm.
Scott, I got to point out that there is some controversy in the chat about your choice of burritos and not tacos on
I
the bottom of the
almost put
bracket.
burritos and tacos. I honestly I did feel like
You eat
tacos
tacos for
was
breakfast?
yeah. See,
A
that's the
breakfast
thing though.
taco? Huh.
Like it's big. Apparently, it's big, but I never heard a breakfast taco before I made that post. I've heard breakfast
Really?
burritos. I don't know. Like, I just think a breakfast burrito is just the same as a taco. Like, honestly, because it's always soft shell tacos for breakfast
I
tacos.
would say don't say that out loud. All the people who
I
know the
know.
difference are
Well, now I feel like there's a miscount here. There's a miscalculation. Maybe I should put taco
I'm just
instead of
mad. I'm
burrito.
just mad that pancakes and waffles had to go against each other. I'm like, dude, really? Because
One of
both.
them's got to win. All right, one of them's got to win that matchup, and I
And you miss
couldn't chance it.
donuts. Donuts are not
I,
on there, and like
to be fair, breakfast
crullers.
burritos are far more common than breakfast tacos, right?
Yeah.
Thank you, Blake.
Yeah.
And
So,
breakfast sandwich. I didn't put what type. I didn't. I just put breakfast sandwich. So I'm trying to
Hmm.
so a
we'll see.
taco, maybe a taco is like technically a sandwich.
I think taco falls in
So,
somewhere in the middle of those two. Yeah, so, taco definitely falls in the middle of those two. So, regardless, next
do
year
you
if you
think a
want to
hot?
see it, you can take nomination. We'll take nominations for the breakfast bracket next year, and we'll have
Oh,
legit seating for for this.
Do you think
And
that a hot dog is a sandwich? If so, then a taco is also a sandwich.
a hot dog is not a sandwich.
I have to think
It's a
about that one. I'll
that's
get back
actually
to
a
you.
that's a tax question, believe it or not. That's a
It's not
tax
a
question
sandwich.
because
Sales tax. It's
there's
probably a sales tax question.
yeah, it's a
Is
sales
it?
tax question because in some places,
Oh, right.
sandwiches
Oh my God.
right sandwiches are taxed, but hot dogs are
Oh
not.
my word. Yeah.
Well, I think it's time to pull some prizes. We got the prize drawings here. Terrell's going to act as our Vanna White. Terrell, do we want to share the Chat GPT screen, or do you want to just?
I'll just call the number out.
All right,
Yeah.
all right.
So I ran the numbers. So let me hit the go button. All right. So our
Chat
first
GPT's
one.
assisting us here.
Yes, this is not us picking the numbers randomly. Let me just
Our
show you
hands. Everybody
guys.
show their hands. Yeah.
Yes, let me just show you very quickly. You know, so everyone knows that these numbers are being picked randomly. There we go. All right, so there's the evidence. So when I start calling out numbers, you will know that it was picked randomly. So the first number is 159834. So whoever has
That
15
sounds random. That sounds very
159834.
random. That was a new number as of this last week because we only had 50,000 tickets we gave out prior to this week. We gave out another 14,000 in the past
That
week.
is a lot of tickets.
Now, what they have won for that ticket is a swag pack from Peter Wen and Tally 4,
Dun, da, da, da.
chocolate covered coffee beans, 2 hacky sacks, a red one and a black one.
Oh, wow.
Those are the accounting high colors too, might I say, and a hat, super nice hat. I've got one upstairs. So, swag pack from Tally 4. The next number that we pull is going to be winning something from dear Miss Allison at Licio. I hope you don't win your own prize because you
That
did
would be
win last
hilarious.
week. Yeah,
Yeah.
that would kind of be. Maybe we should.
I didn't
pull
win my
another
own
one.
prize last week. I won.
We didn't pull your prize last week. I think we added
No,
it
I
for
yeah, I
this week.
kind of
Yeah.
I got in late. I think I missed
It's all good.
I
It's
missed
all
an
good.
important email.
We're gonna. I miss a lot of important emails. Lots of them. All right, what are we getting for who's getting the swag
All
pack
right.
from Licio?
So we are going to run it again. And the next number is 110987.
Right.
Another
110987.
very random number. I feel very refreshed.
I
Yeah.
believe that it's random.
Let's
Last time's was a little suspicious.
Terrell stopped sharing his screen though, so I can't attest to these numbers. Nobody's
attestation.
expecting
Yeah.
me to
Some
do that.
auditing.
we need an audit
I don't-
feature on here. Yeah.
We have
I
three
never got my
CPAs
audit
on this
hours,
call though.
but-
Come on, guys. 3 CPAs, right?
Well, I'm an EA, but
Oh, you're an EA. Oh, okay, 2 CPAs, an EA, and Allison.
and Allison.
That's what you got.
Well,
But Terrell can't sign off on his own work, so
There
true.
you go.
That is true.
all right, let's do 2 more since I was supposed to pull a couple earlier too. So this one's
Okay,
going to be
so-
tickets to the Unique CPA conference, courtesy of
Ooh.
Randy Crabtree, who actually was going to be on this week, but we're going to have him on next week because 4 is enough people. So Randy's going to be on the live show next
He's
week.
so cool. He is so cool.
This is a big deal because I'm going to be at that conference.
Ooh.
Wonderful. Yeah.
Actually,
Now, I guess
I'm gonna be
before
at
you
that
give away the
conference, too.
let everybody know, like, when is the dates for the conference and what can they expect from the conference?
Well, great question. I don't know the answer to that. I know it's in August. I know.
Hold on, let me pull it up.
Yeah, it's called Bridging the Gap, and we will be bridging the generational gap and the tech and the technology gap. All the gaps we'll be bridging. Terrell's also going to be there as well. Allison, I'm sure you'll
Gap.
probably be there too.
I don't know that we will be, but cool little fun fact. Randy uses Licio, so
Awesome.
Ooh.
That's
so
that's
we'll have
more
to
than a
make
cool
sure he
fun
has
fact.
his
That's awesome.
Randy
Yeah.
his Randy CO T-shirt so he can wear it.
Randicio.
Randicio.
Ooh, that sounds Italian. That sounds very Italian.
And Scott, don't forget the important monetary component of this prize. How many tickets are there?
One
One?
ticket for
Okay.
this week. Yeah.
Well, the early bird pricing is $649, so
Oh,
that's a
wow.
value of
Huge.
Ooh.
That is a
$649.
lot of
We're
money.
giving away cash this week. Yeah.
Yes, and they do have a very awesome site. So for anybody who's interested, you can go to Try Merit. I hope Randy's okay with me sharing this, letting everybody know about it because the marketing team is doing a great job with the conference, and the dates will be August the 29th
Oh,
through the 30th, and it will be in Chicago. So
oh.
it's in Chicago during the time when the weather is actually pretty good in Chicago.
Yes. Yes, you
Yeah,
will
Blake and
want
I
to
were
be
there
there.
last year around that time.
Yes.
yeah.
This is going to be so much fun. This is like number 2 on my list of conferences this year.
Ooh,
And there's
let's
really
talk about
reasonable
number one,
flights to.
Blake.
Yeah.
Let's
But
What's
before
your?
we talk about number one, let's tell the person whoever won. So
Yes, yes, let's.
the person that is getting the ticket, the free ticket, which is worth over $600 for the early bird pricing, the number is 154321.
Yeah, that one. That one. Okay. Five,
Now,
four,
no
three, two,
comments.
one.
No comments. They're doing it again.
One.
It's at it
Five, four,
again.
three, two, one.
Allison, you're witness.
I am going to show that
You don't have
is
to show. I
a
believe it. I believe
that
it was
is a
Chaz.
Chat GPT
I believe
number.
it was Chaz that did it again. So we've been calling him or her Chaz. I think Chaz is both male, female name.
Charlie is also both
Charlie.
male or
Yeah.
female.
Well, that was sort of the point. Is like we want
Yeah.
to be gender neutral with Chaz. So
Yeah. Also could be
Yep.
they them. Yep.
Yeah, we really should use the correct pronouns if we're gonna if we're gonna do
I
this,
feel
right?
like
Personify.
I feel like Chat GPT is a they. They
Yeah,
them.
I would agree with that.
Definitely
But we,
non-binary.
you could ask ChatGPT what it prefers for its pronouns.
I don't want to distract it from the picking the numbers.
Okay.
Yeah, we
I
need
want
that.
it
Don't
to
do
get
that.
better at
You'll
You'll have
picking
to type
random
it in
numbers.
again. No, you'll have to type
That's
it in
another
again.
podcast.
Okay.
That's another one.
Well, we'll pick some more numbers later. Let's refrain from making any gender faux pas. And let's talk about these round 3 results because some of them might be expected, some of them may not. Some of them might be some surprises. So I'm gonna share the one that's got like the
Nerves.
visuals. So this is here we go. So this is fun. All right. Oh, wait! I just revealed a couple that I didn't mean to. So in case you got a sneak peek there,
It was a
it was
flash.
a quick flash. Yeah,
It
there's
was
a lot of
blink and
flashing
you
on
missed
here.
it.
Careful flash photography. Anybody
Blink
who's
and you missed
sensitive
it.
to bright lights and flashing, just tone it down. Blowout for the first one. This was
Wow.
I don't
People
know.
really love Gusto. Yeah.
I mean, I think Gusto did a really good job of like really coming like the supporters for Gusto were like, hey, we see how far Gusto has gone. We're going to support them all the way. So this one was not surprising to me.
Yeah, and they did a really great job of communicating during the Silicon Valley Bank thing. Like they had a lot of great guidance for their customers, and they were really being very proactive. And then they just released the they've got like a new certification, isn't it? Didn't they just release that? Jacqueline Anque and Will.
Yep, the Gusto
Yeah.
Academy
Gusto,
is
thank you.
coming out.
Thank
Yep.
you. I was just losing that. Gusto Academy. So they're just doing really great work.
Gusto
Yeah.
has been the apple of my eye lately. I got to
Mhm.
perform my rap when I was up there, so thank you
Yeah.
to Gusto team for letting me do that. But yeah, we're up there for a GPAC summit. Love it, love to see Gusto keep
That
going.
is a good gap though, 85 to 240. So
That might be the biggest one.
it's a bit of a route. Yeah.
This matchup was too close to call all week. Zapier was ahead most of the week, and your co-host predicted Zapier to make it to the final, Blake. David
I,
predicted.
I gotta say, I am disappointed in this result. I had Zapier in my
Yeah.
bracket, and I can't reconcile this, guys.
Yeah,
Like,
I also
there.
voted for Zapier as well when I voted, because we just rolled out Lisio now integrates with Zapier. We're
Ah,
just coming out of the
That's good
beta
awesome.
news.
like in a week or
Well,
so. Yeah,
and OpenAI
and
now
it's been so
integrates with
fun,
Zapier. So we're going to
so
be
fun.
able to use
Hmm.
ChatGPT, and we're going to be able to plug that into Zapier and then have it access Lisio through Zapier.
I just can't wait for all those recipes to come out. It's just so fun. Like, yeah.
This is a recipe for success.
So I've been using Slack for like yonks, like literally forever, and I love it. It's fine. Slack's great. I'm just disappointed that Zapier didn't win because I think Zapier is just some of those things. And you if you once you sort of start like dipping your toe in, I think some people are kind of afraid of it. Um, Once you dip your toe in and you start automating some things, you kind of do get a little bit addicted to it.
Hmm.
I love it. Both of these I love to see make it really
Mm,
far in the bracket because they were low seeds too. So this is an
mm,
11 seed and a 10 seed. They didn't get a ton of nominations, but overwhelmingly, universally across the board, they've been getting a lot of love.
yeah,
And that's
yeah.
great to see accountants utilizing tools like Zapier, Slack. Again,
But
like you
it's a
said,
squeak. It's like they were only just like,
well, it's a
Yeah.
communication. So
not very
one's a
many.
communication tool, and
Mm,
one is more of a bridge. But this is the bridge bracket, so
mhm,
I still see Slack as sort of a bridge because you can.
mm,
Slack integrates with a ton of different tools, and Slack is
mm,
sometimes the middle bridge between those. So for the
mm.
bridge bracket, to make it out of the bridge bracket alive and healthy and playing next up against, that's going to be Gusto, I think. Well, we'll see. We'll see the matchups. We'll preview the
Yeah, that's
matchups
where it's not
after.
going to make sense. You guys mentioned this last time. It's like you're going to have these
We're
weird
gonna
things
get there.
going
Yeah, I
on.
know. It
Yeah.
may not make sense, but it's also part of the tournament. We
But
gotta
I
have a
think
winner.
I would say I think to the it was a comment I think Nicole made last week is where I think now in the bracket you're starting to see like which tools people are probably more actively using in their practice or in their career. And I think Zapier has a lot of great things about it, but I think it's still getting more and more adoption where
Hmm.
Slack has a ton of adoption already where it's like you're going to find a lot more people who are probably actively using Slack than you are to find the same number of people who are actively using Zapier.
Yeah, yeah. And
Although I
Zapier,
don't know, Terrell, that the numbers are really close. So like
yeah, well, Zapier, it's super
it wasn't
close.
a route, right?
But Zapier isn't something that I guess you actively use because most of the time if you're actively using it, then you're repairing connections and you're going back in there to fix
Yeah.
certain things if you've set it up right. I know you could go back with new things, but Slack, you're actively using it every day for some people.
Yeah, and on your phone too. Like you walk around with Slack on your phone, right? So it's like, yeah.
Yeah, honestly, I've been cold turkey on Slack and email for almost 2 years now, and I've just gotten back into email. I have not gotten
Oh.
into Slack.
Mm.
So I don't know.
I
Like
thought you were going to say something like a couple months.
oh no,
There's
this
there's
has been,
there's
Blake
two
knows this.
years
Yeah,
of emails in Scott's inbox. 2 years of
this is
emails.
why I didn't work out at Earmark. I wasn't checking my email.
That's a
No,
funny
just use
story,
Listio
Scott.
instead. Use Listio instead.
That's right.
It
Oh,
is a,
yeah.
it is a funny
We,
story.
but here's my beef with this because I gotta get back to this beef that I have with Slack. Is that we've got Teams, we've got Google Chat, we've got Slack. They're all the same at this point,
Yeah.
But we only have one Zapier.
Ooh. So I don't know. You got Make. You've got some of the
No,
others.
but nobody I know uses Make, so we've got one Zapier.
All right, all right. And Zapier
Like
got the
Power
best.
Automate. Power
Honestly,
Automate.
I wanted to see
Mm.
Zapier go because it was. We called this out last week. The line in my rap, creating space so I imitate rappers, making me happier. Couldn't have done it without Zapier. We all know how to pronounce it now too, at
Yeah.
least.
Zapier makes you happier.
Yeah, makes you happier. Yeah, couldn't have done it. So, I don't know. It's sad to see you go, Zapier. I'm gonna miss you. See you next year at the tournament.
Good
Maybe you'll
fight
get a
though.
higher seed. Yeah.
Good,
Um,
good fight.
I kind of like their new logo though, with the underscore instead of the asterisk. That's like so I've been putting the underscore in there just as like a little nod to that. Um, honestly, I don't know what it means. I don't know why they went asterisk to underscore, but we can look into that maybe next year. See where it goes. This is a big one here. I use both of these at my firm.
Ooh.
Oh.
My first thought on this one was I was like, Ignition's going to take this one. And part of it, I think, is because running a business, one of the things that we all love is getting paid. And I think when I hear people talk about Ignition, that is one of the pain points of making sure that they can get paid automatically that people love, which is why I was like, yeah, I think Ignition's going to take this one. I think people love Carbon, but I think people love getting paid more, and they associate that with Ignition.
I think
all
that's a
love
great
getting
point.
paid. Yeah.
Great point, Terrell.
I
You
wondered if their
can't
layoffs was
beat
going to
money in
hurt
the
them.
door.
I wondered if their layoffs was going to hurt them because they lost some really like staff that people
Well,
really loved.
Carbon did the same thing too.
Oh,
I
did
mean,
they? Oh,
fairly recently. I mean,
mm.
some toward the end of last year. So
But I have to
everybody's been doing
agree.
it.
I have to agree with Terrell. I think the money, like when you're like getting the money, is the thing that people go, yeah, can't live
Yeah,
without that.
Now,
can't
i-
live without it.
isn't Licio going to take payments too? Aren't you going to be able to do
Yeah,
proposals
yeah,
and?
yeah, yeah, yeah. We already do. And our we just do proposals differently than Ignition. We're just not like as laser focused on. So a lot of the things, yeah, just depending on the complexity of your environment, you would. I usually like we integrate with Carbon, right? So Carbon for your back office, like your workflow. That's why Lisio, it's really interesting. It's really just its own category of app,
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Well,
right?
some of them. Well, I guess they bridge different categories, but
Mm-hmm.
this Licio was in the practice bracket, so this is the practice bracket in the accounting region.
Mm-hmm.
Ignition, another elephant in the room here, is the sponsor of the tournament. They are funding the trip to Hawaii, so
Yeah. And
that's
they're both awesome, awesome
there's
apps.
nothing
Yeah.
rigged here. This is
Yeah.
just happens to be they got more love too. They got 314 votes. That's
A
more
lot.
than the other two winners got. So they've got so far they're leading in votes here.
You,
Yeah.
you know
They're
what
both
else I'll give
amazing
to
apps though.
Ignition?
Yeah.
I mean, Carbon's a great app, but anytime you're implementing practice management, it's going to be a much heavier lift and it's a lot harder. It's a lot more work.
Mm-hmm.
Ignition, you're replacing Microsoft Word for proposals with Ignition. You're going to see this amazing change like right away. I feel like
Mm-hmm.
with Carbon, you really got to live with it for a long time before you see the benefit. It's just a longer lift, if that makes sense.
For sure. I mean, we've
Not
been
that it's not there, but
yeah,
yeah.
we've been
Mm-hmm.
using Carbon for years now, maybe 5 years now, and my team definitely says they would not be able to operate without Carbon. That's my
Yeah.
operations manager, his favorite app.
Yeah.
I loved Ignition. Like you said, Blake, I was replacing Microsoft Word proposals. I was turning those into PDFs, and I was just like going to Microsoft Word, copying the last proposal, typing stuff up. This with the templates and everything, Ignition is just one of my saviors was at the firm. I mean, everything's automated in there now. Everything is effortless. So I don't know. I love them both. This was one of those matchups that's close to my heart. So Ignition, the 1 seed, made it out of the practice bracket. So far, the only 1 seed to advance
Wow.
in all of these so far. So they led in
Yeah.
nominations. They led in the bracket against Carbon. It wasn't that close the whole time. I mean, it came kind of close. But notice, too, a lot of votes in this bracket. So
Mm.
going into, let me just, before I show the next matchup here, going into Saturday, yesterday, we got over 100 new like votes and students come in. Like a lot of votes came in on Saturday. And as I was updating, so I prepared a lot of these on Friday, and I was updating on Saturday. There was a huge swing in one of the matchups. We have an upset alert.
What?
Upset
What?
alert. Boo, 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 boo.
This one is
Oh,
The first
surprising.
bracket, I know, mind blown, mind blown. So going
Wow.
into this, Uncat was in the high 100s.
Wow.
Well, they were somewhere in the, I don't know. It was not really that close.
Wow.
And I asked Byron, I said, something's fishy's going on here. Something, you better check for bots. Check for bots. Bot check. He did a spot check, bot check, and this is all legit. This
Bot.
Wow.
Yeah.
this all came in throughout the day. It wasn't like there was nothing suspicious going on. Uncat with the upset. Blake,
I mean,
Wow.
as a guy who started with 0 for my practice, I gotta say, I mean, I'm really impressed at Uncat here defeating what I thought was going to be the winner of the whole tournament. So like my mind is just
my,
blown.
as well,
Uh,
I agree with
There
you. I
might
thought
be a
yeah.
there might be a sort of a voting for the underdog kind of thing, like, and maybe everybody just assumed QuickBooks was going to win, so like, QuickBooks is going to win, so I'll vote for Uncat.
it's very
It
fitting
could,
that QuickBooks is going to be
yeah.
giving away award because these door prizes were supposed to be as you're leaving the tournament, you're giving away prizes. So
Well, and maybe Uncat just did a really great job letting their users know who are very passionate about the tournament. And I don't know
Yeah,
if
lots of
Intuit did
social.
Intuit.
Intuit did not
Yeah.
promote it at all.
Oh, there you
Yeah.
go.
And they did, so they
Well,
didn't get a lot of people coming here for them. You had people coming into the tournament for
mhm,
certain platforms coming in to vote
mhm.
just for that, and then obviously they're going to vote for everything else.
Yeah, because it's fun to vote and you get the tickets, right? So
Yeah,
it was fun.
get the prizes. So
Hmm.
speaking of prizes, do we want to take a break from the brackets before we get into the education region and pull a couple more prizes?
Yeah, let's do that. While I pull that up, there is one question in YouTube.
Yeah,
Someone asked, okay, how do we know what our number is? So, like, as we're calling out these numbers,
great
how will they
question.
know?
Great
It's a really
question.
good question.
So when you're in, I will open up mine to show you what
You
it
get like
looks
a
like.
your tickets, yeah.
Yeah,
But
so
but we're gonna also let you know, right? Like you guys let me know that I won, and then I'm like, oh, cool, I won. Right?
yes, we did. We will
Yeah,
let everybody know, and we have a
yeah,
list of all the winners from last week that we reached out to everybody already. When you click on, so up in the top
yeah.
next to your picture, you
There's
can
your
click
ticket.
your tickets, and then you can view all of your tickets. We have all of this in a database, so you don't necessarily have to scroll through everyone. There's a lot of tickets, but if you do a Command F and just search, you should be able to find. You should be able to look up the number that we pull if you want to find out live if you won.
I was
'Cause-
surprised at how many tickets I did have. I wasn't really like paying attention to it.
yeah, well, you see
I
the
voted in
top
every
ticker.
round.
Yeah, so if you voted every round, you
Hmm.
probably have upwards of, you probably have close to 200 tickets already.
Yeah, it was a
Um,
lot. Hmm.
Lots of tickets. We may need to temper that next year. I love giving away a lot of tickets, and I love the whole chance of all of this. It's fun. Um, big prize for Hawaii coming up in a couple
And then we
weeks.
should mention that before Terrell started doing the setting it all up, you took the former winners out. So you
Yes.
can't, each ticket, if somebody wins, you're not going to win twice on that same ticket.
Yeah, can't win. It's just like a real raffle, right?
Yep.
You get a vouchers. You
Yeah.
got your tickets. Every ticket's issued once. Every ticket we're pulling once. So we'll pull a couple more right now. This is a prize from Roundtable Labs, 3-month free membership and a $50 gift card.
See, that's Richard's just so generous.
Richard is
He
awesome.
throws in another bonus gift card just because.
He said, "Here's $250 to give away," and I said, "You know what? Let's split it up. We'll do it. We'll do a little bit each time. We'll do $50 for each person. We'll give them away throughout."
Yeah,
So that's why we're doing more of
that's
these.
nice.
So, the
Nice.
winner of the 3 free months and the $50 gift card is number 143789.
There. Oh, that's got to trigger you, Scotty.
It
Again.
triggered me, but I'm slow
Are you
because the
okay with
143
it?
is I'm
Like,
okay with the 143 like that. The
then
789.
it has to punch you in the face with a 789.
It's sock like
So
You
so
could-
Scott,
yeah.
I just want to like point out that these language models are probably gonna come up with numbers that like people would come up with because that's how they're trained and on data that's they're not random number generator. Like so
Oh really?
this is like expected.
Oh wow. That's actually very
Hmm.
important to note. So should we be using a different tool to pull the number?
I mean, you could look up like a random number generator that
Okay.
online. You can
I
do
think it's
that. But
kind
I'm
of
not
fun.
saying
I think it's kind of
this
fun
is not
to
a bad
use it, though.
it's not a bad way to do it. It's just going to pick numbers that are like what a
What the human
Wait.
mind would like
yeah.
kind of go to, and I think it tried to overcompensate with the 159834 because there's no pattern there, and it was just like it knew it got a little suspicious last time, so it. I don't know if it has memory. I mean, it like the RAM. I don't know if that clears out in Chat GPT, so it remembers from last week or not. But
I think, Scott, I think you must have done something to Chat GPT, because let me share my screen. I'll show you, this conversation that Chat GPT and I are having.
I would
And
love to see
the next, and you'll understand once I say the next number. So let me zoom in so people can see. This is what I told Chat GPT, and this was the result it gave me.
Make it random. 1, 2, 4, 5, 6, 7. Here's a truly random number. Yeah, well.
No comments again. Blake, this one is for you. This was this is the earmarked. Wait, so it was 1, 2, 4, 5, 6, 7. Really, like that? Wow. Thank you, Chaz. 1 year for earmark for new subscribers.
Scott,
That's
yes.
huge.
before you do that, Brian in the chat says you should try Google Bard instead. See what if we get random numbers with Google Bard.
Okay, we'll try that next
Is
week.
Google Bard available for
Byron has
the
Bard.
public?
Byron's got Bard.
Okay.
Yeah.
I've got Bard too. I could try Bard if you want.
Well, we're already in too deep here. I'm kind
Okay.
of having fun with this, and I'm actually like very interested to learn what you just like how this is only capable of coming up with numbers that a human could. Like this isn't like a computer pulling it. Technically, it is, but I don't even know how to explain it.
It auto completes the way a person would auto complete. Essentially, think of ChatGPT as just like a really sophisticated autocomplete.
I don't know. I don't know. This is my mind is blown still too. Like the autocomplete itself on the phone and everywhere else is kind of smarter than me in a lot of cases. Like I freeze up and I use the autocomplete, and it's like this is read my mind. So I think we're good on numbers. We want to do one more now, or we want to go into the education results?
You want to do? Yeah, we'll do one more.
One more. This one
All
is.
right.
Sorry,
So-
I didn't mean to interrupt you, Scott.
No, you didn't. This is again mind blown. This is talking about the future. We're giving away a 2-month free of Future Firm, Ryan Lozanis' platform.
Oh, that's a nice prize too. Mm-hmm.
2-month free for
Awesome.
new members only.
Mm-hmm.
All right. So I am going to tell Chat GPT, do not make it random, and let's see what we get.
Do not make it random.
What did it say?
The number comes back as 1500000.
Okay, fair enough. And it's you know what
That's
though.
a legit number though.
It's still a legit. That
somebody
number's
have
got to
that
be
ticket?
picked. Yes, somebody does have that ticket.
Okay.
And
Do
you
not
know
make
what?
it random though.
It hasn't
It's
been
really
picked yet.
interesting.
That is the winner.
So it's an even number.
The $150,000 number.
That is true.
All right. We are moving on to the marquee matchup of the evening here. This one was close. This one was close. But
Oh,
not
it
close
wasn't
enough.
close.
Not
No,
close
it wasn't
enough.
close. I
No, it
knew
wasn't
it.
that
I knew
close.
it. But for little
Earmark
Scrappy
is
Grove,
advancing.
we're
Hey,
I'm-
Scrappy Grove made it to this
Scrappy
far, which
Grove
was
made it really
impressive.
far. Yeah.
Very impressive.
Well done, Blake. Well done.
Thank you, Allison.
Yeah.
It was a tough game, but in the end, the Earmark team came through and took
Yeah.
the lead.
Earmark's got a 1 seed. A lot of love.
Yeah.
For Earmark.
And what were we, like 11 or something? We were like way down
5
there.
seed. 5
We
seed.
were 5.
All the
Oh.
5 seeds advanced. So
Oh.
far, none of the 5 seeds have made it out, though.
Mhm.
Oh, no, Gusto. Gusto was a 5
Mhm.
seed. So, yes, the Grove, again, peace out. But Hey, it's an impressive run. You guys
The Grove is also a very young team. We gotta admit, right?
Yeah, I mean we're only like 5 months old. Like we're
Yeah.
like
it says established 2022. So
yeah, like 2022, like October or November. It's like we're we're literally like
I mean, to be
Yeah.
fair, Earmark is still very young as well.
we're not
Well,
even in our
we've
first season.
we're like double. You know, we've had double the experience of
Yeah.
the Grove at least.
Almost double the
So,
votes.
and
Yeah.
you know, we built Earmark off of the Cloud Accounting podcast audience, which goes back like 5 years now.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah.
Fair.
yeah,
Fair.
to be
Yeah.
It
fair.
will be interesting though to see, we didn't make it public this year of all of the preseason activity because I think next year when we start releasing like how some of these names that people are seeing as they get more experience, people become more familiar with them, like what seed Grove comes in next year and what seed Earmark comes in next year because I think a lot of people do forget we started off with 275 different options, and Grove made it out of the round of the 275. So, I mean, I think that's a huge win right there.
It made it out of the first 2 rounds of this tournament too. So this is nothing to be ashamed of. This is amazing. So
Yeah,
next,
and I have to say we did really literally we did no advertising. Like we did no like we could have done better. Like our team, we definitely could have done better.
yeah, like Uncat did. Uncat proves the model there that all
Yeah. You've got to market it.
you
You
can
really
be
do have
beat.
to
Yeah.
market it.
All right,
Yeah.
next matchup. Accounting Salon and
Ooh,
Future
oh
Firm.
wow. Yeah,
Oh,
this
Another
doesn't surprise me. This doesn't. I mean, I love Accounting Salon. I'm a member, but
yeah.
Future Firm, like that is a huge community now. I don't know how many members are in Future Firm. Do you guys know? It's like hundreds and hundreds,
yeah.
I believe.
It's very
Yeah.
large and it's open to the public. Accounting Salon is a private. I don't even think there's 106 members of Accounting Salon. So
N-
the
No, I don't know how many there are, but it's in the dozens, I think.
yeah,
Well,
And
they only
it's
admit
like,
in a certain
yeah,
number each year, right? So,
yeah.
like,
only 2 were admitted this year. 2 or
only
3.
two. Oh,
A
wow.
lot of applications. Yeah.
Yeah.
So exclusive group, but a lot of passion for it. Obviously, it's still made it this far, so respectable. But woof, Future Firm's going to have to go up against Earmark next round. We'll talk about that in a little bit.
I'm
But
a little
I
worried
will
about
say,
that. I'm
That's
a
going to
little
be
worried
brutal.
about that, to be honest.
no, because you guys say that, hey, there's probably what dozens of people that are in a accounting salon. The fact
Yeah.
that they got 106 votes, I guess that tells us like how many people want to get in.
Yeah, that's true too. Yeah, they should be sharing their votes too to the people that make the decisions here. I'm in accounting salon, but I don't make the decisions on who gets in. Or at least like they do allow us to vote.
Nominating committee, and then the membership votes.
Okay,
Yeah, I'm not on the committee or anything like that. So
okay.
don't
Well,
don't don't
Well, you
don't
guys
DM
probably
me.
have like a long list of people who are like trying to apply and people who would love to get in based on these votes.
oh, they give us they shower us with bribes all year. All year, people bribe us to get. Yeah,
Wait,
so
Scott, you're getting bribes? How do I get in on this?
no comment. No comment. I also have no say either, so I take the bribes and I say I'm going to go do something and nothing happens.
I
Another
feel like that could come back to bite you, Scott.
I joke. All right, so I'm just trying to ease the pressure here. So this is
Oh
this
no,
is
here we go.
another big matchup,
Oh,
Oh wow!
another decided
Oh.
matchup, another decided matchup.
David and
It was
This is
Blake
closer than I
teaming
expected.
up.
It's actually closer than I expected to, and it made me feel a little bit better about it because at first, right when voting came out, it was like boom, 60 to like 20, right out the gate, like on the first day. So at
yeah.
least
Well, to be fair, Scott, you went through a rebrand like not long before this, and that's like clearing out your backbench, right? You totally rebuilt the team
yeah,
right
that's
before
that's
this
true.
tournament.
That's true. That's true. I mean, I'm actually happy that we made it this far because I wasn't even going to put us in, and I didn't think we'd
I'm
even
glad
make
you
it in.
did. I'm glad you did. I think it was really good visibility for you, and it was a legitimate vote, right? It's not like you guys were pandering. You know,
Yeah,
it was
I didn't even pander for votes. I
people
just
were
pandered the tournament
legitimately,
itself. Yeah.
yeah.
Um, but the strength of Cloud, and honestly, I just love the contrast of this blue and red. Like this just looks like those two colors should be competing. Like I think we see that a lot in our political systems. We always see blue versus red. So
But we know
complimentary.
that you're from North Carolina, so you're like always going for blue.
Oh, of course. Yeah. Well, NC State is North Carolina too. So,
But you're
wearing,
more of a Tar Heels fan,
but
probably.
you see the colors I'm wearing now. I'm like, I'm representing the team that made it. So, Cloud is advancing. 2 1 seeds advance in the education bracket. Both Blakes. Do you have anything to say?
So is Blake gonna like eventually be playing himself? Like Cloud Accounting Podcast versus Earmark?
Well. So what's the next matchup, Scott? Like, how does this bracket advance? Because
We'll get there.
are you gonna
I'll show
that?
the whole thing.
Okay.
Yeah, we're going to talk about the matchups and we'll talk about the road
All right.
to the Final Four. But see ya. Peace out, Accounting High. Maybe next year in your bracket challenge you can make it. But it's all right though. The best podcast made it, and you guys have always said we're the #1 podcast in the accounting
Now you know.
profession. Now you have the proof of the people.
We're gonna say according to Apple and according to Accounting High. That's
No, according to the
Now the
people.
audience.
Accounting High is not running anything. Well, we're running the tournament, but
Well,
this
according
is
to
the
the
people's
Accounting
votes.
High
The people
bracket
spoke.
challenge.
Yeah, the Accounting High
The
students. How
people's
about that?
vote.
According to Accounting High student body. There you go. Awesome. Congratulations. The next matchup. Another one that was close.
Ooh, wow.
KJJ, I think
Kate
you're in the
was-
chat.
Yeah, Kate was a little bit of the underdog, but boy, she did a great job.
So she had a crisis of conscience. Not maybe conscience, but she said she didn't promote it as hard this week as she did in other weeks because Stats didn't really promote it either, or promote himself, right? He didn't like say go vote for me. She says, I got a little too much pride to be doing that up against Stats. He's probably going to beat me anyway. Either way, I don't know. I don't think she went that far in saying
Great
that.
job,
but
though, Kate.
she did come
Amazing.
out and like last minute beat out Appy Hour in the first round, and then went on to win her second round matchup. This is just against Logan. This is just a tough matchup against Stats.
Yep.
I mean,
Yep.
Stats comes in here, 3 different categories. He made it out as a 3 seed. This is kind of like his YouTube channel and just him. Made it out as a 3 seed. He's going to be going up against Blake and David next week. Let's
Okay.
So
see
it's
those matchups.
It's Cloud Accounting versus Jason Stats.
Pretty much. We'll see the matchups in a minute. Let's do a couple more prizes. So
All right, let's go with one more. I'm gonna tell them to try random. One more random. All right, so our next number is 107632.
very random. Congratulations. This
I'll
is
take it.
Now, what's the prize that person gets?
This is a Fresh Books water bottle and a fresh book. And this week's fresh book that they're giving away is The Power of Connections by
It's a great
Chip
book.
Heath, I think. Yes.
Nice.
I have it over there. So basically what I did was we're giving away 10 different books from Fresh Books, and they've sent me a ton of books.
I like how they did that.
The greatest books. We've had a series of Fresh Book reports on the show, so we're giving away those. And yeah, that's the first one. Did you pick another one?
Yeah,
They're giving away
next
2.
number is 159086.
All right. Another.
That feels like a
very-
human chose that one, but there you go. To Blake's point earlier.
It's a very random number, about as random as Chaz is capable of. All right, and then we'll have the Intuit swag pack or QuickBooks swag pack. It's probably going to be really nice.
They have good stuff.
Intuit gives away always great stuff. They're out of the tournament. They got 2 weeks of swag stuff to give away though. So
Well, they
This is
should.
All
have
right, you
given
need
it
one more, or we're gonna
one
move
more,
to
yeah,
the.
this last one. Yeah.
All right. The next number is 133777.
Thanks,
I think it
Chaz.
can do a good job like on two, but if you do like three in a row, you're like,
Thanks, Chaz. All right, let's see.
yeah, yeah,
So
But that is somebody's number. You know it.
yeah.
you're right. You're right. I actually I'm almost like, I don't know what to say. Um, Maybe I should talk about our episode calendar. So Blake, you know how hard this has been for me to take all of the episodes. That Terrell knows this because he's seen me struggle through this. So I have a lot of episodes recorded. Let's just say this backlog hasn't really gone anywhere. Now it is.
Oh
It's
no,
getting
really?
cleared
I
in
love this
5 weeks.
poster.
5 weeks we are putting out five
This is
episodes
so
a week,
cool.
and we have categories. So
Oh,
Wow.
every Monday we're going to have guideposts, and the guideposts are the guys that I see, or the people as I see as guiding us through the profession. We have Roger Connect. You'll see. I'll scroll through. Ron Baker, Ed Kless. Booster Club is going to be people that are somewhat sponsor adjacent, tech partners, CEOs. We're going to talk about a lot of these are conversations, CEO interviews from a
yeah,
lot
you
of our
got
tech
Anita from
partners.
Live Flow. Yeah.
That's the Booster Club. Peer review is accountants doing real accountant things, running firms. So these are firm owners. So it's sort of like I call it peer review. Those are conversations from real people doing real things with firms. Social studies is where we talk about the social networks. So people that are popular on the social platforms and helping me navigate this social space. So conversations about that. We got the tax Twitter Tiara Squad, Mary McDonald and Amber Gray Fenner. And on Fridays is the cool kids. So that's more of like the influencers, thought leaders. I call them the cool kids. So any any um
Oh,
any
I I see you've got Madeline Reeves next week, or
that's
yeah,
going to be
that's
on the
next week, right?
20th. Yeah.
The 20th. So I was listening to Marketplace the other day,
Yeah.
like last week, and she was interviewed on Marketplace with Kai Rizdal. They like called her up and talked to her about her EIDL loan.
Oh, that's dope.
Yeah, I mean, I'm thinking like these are people in our community. That's fantastic.
Oh,
Yeah. So we got a pretty cool lineup, and this is all episodes, all great to listen to. We've got 5 weeks, 5 times a week, lots of names. Good episode coming up with Clayton Oates. I know everybody
mhm.
knows Clayton from the Outback. So that was just happened to be here. What's up, Blake?
Mhm.
I was going to ask, did you ask Clayton what exactly he does? Because I still don't really understand what his
I
business
had a
was.
2 hour conversation with
Thought
him.
leader. It's a thought
You
leader.
know what, Allison, you pretty much nailed it. Like 2 hours
Yeah.
conversation with him. He talks about like helping with tech partners. It's
Yeah.
kind of similar to Heather
Yeah.
Smith in a way.
Yeah. He does a lot of consulting and he does, of course, a lot of, keynotes and he's always awesome.
I mean, he's gotten so thought. He's like at such a high level of thought leadership
Hmm.
that like what he originally did for a living is even it's gone, right?
Hmm.
And I say that like I'm not saying that as a joke. I mean, Clayton was like the guy who the first person I met when I went to my first accounting conference, like the first what who I would call a thought leader, it was Clayton, and he was wearing Austin Powers. He was dressed up as Austin Powers. I'm pretty sure it was either that or Crocodile Dundee.
And he
It
was
might have been the year
probably
he was,
smiling ear to ear.
So
And
cool.
he's
and
always got that
he was so
energy.
welcoming. He was
Yeah.
so welcoming. It was great.
I love him. Yeah, so that was a conversation that I'll always remember. He's awesome. We're gonna see him in Italy fairly soon, coming up.
Yes. That was the second, well, that was the first conference that I'm looking forward to the most that I mentioned earlier.
Yeah.
For everyone who was paying attention, I said that the Unique CPA conference was my second favorite conference of the year.
So you going to Expensicon, huh?
The first one is Expensicon. And Scott, you're going to Expensicon.
Oh, I'm putting together my presentation for Expensicon too.
Oh, are you speaking at
I
Expensicon?
have a session. I'm gonna be doing a new rap there too. So I've got their rap that I did, and hopefully I'm gonna be performing that there. But I'm gonna be writing a new one too, and I'm working on the presentation. My first ever like legit
I got to
session.
figure out how to get invited.
Wow.
So so I'm
Well,
excited.
Allison, you have to compose a rap and perform a rap for David Barrett of Expensify, and he has to think it's awesome, and then you'll get to go.
Blake was like coaching me the week before this interview with Dave Barrett. I was
Is
so
that really
excited for it.
seriously how you got it? Did you all have to do a rap? Are you guys are you
Oh
gonna
no,
like
no,
pull
no!
my
I
leg
really
right now?
did. No, I,
You
I,
really
I
did?
really did. I could play it.
Scott
was,
did.
yeah.
I did not.
Yeah.
You don't want to see me try to do that, but Scott did. Yes.
Although
I think mine would be comedy. If I did it, it would make everybody laugh like really hard. Yeah.
that was mine. I mean,
But
all of my raps are comedy. Like they're all
yeah.
supposed to be like parodies, and but I'm also taking it very seriously too at the same
Yeah.
time. But it's punchlines. There's jokes in there. Like
Yeah.
rap to me is stand up. Like I'm the Greg Kite for rapping, right? Like I'm gonna do rap stand ups for accountants.
Yeah.
So it's all in fun. I got the tax bracket up here just because we hadn't talked about these results. These results have been in, and Avalera won the tax bracket. I didn't post them because it was still a bonus, but Avalera made it out.
Well, shout out to Avalera. I don't think that one
Great.
was surprising.
No, Avalera's got a lot of love, a lot of support.
Yeah.
Avalera is a big supporter of a lot of Blake's podcasts too. So
Yeah. They helped
uh,
us launch 2 different podcasts. They helped us launch Oh My Fraud, and they helped us launch The Good, Bad, and the Ugly, which is Laurel and Wilson's podcast. So they've been a huge supporter of us, and I'm really happy to see them get to this. What stage is this? Final?
This is they won. They
Well,
made
there
it.
was one less,
Oh, they.
right? There was one less round, right? Because they came in late.
So though it was still the same amount of rounds to make it out. One less round, I guess, when you consider they're not going to play any further. They're basically done unless they play against a breakfast. We could put them up against a breakfast. Avalera goes up
Carbonara or
against bacon and
pancakes?
egg. Yeah,
Or pancakes.
that's actually.
You have to
really
do that,
funny.
Scott. I
But
think
might
you
have to now that I've
Yeah.
said it. It may need to be.
Well, actually, I could see a really fun like promo there because like which one is taxable, which one is not. Like to Blake's
well,
question earlier, is a hot
we
dog
were
a
just talking
sandwich?
about the sales.
Because sales tax is gnarly. It's gnarly. And what if you buy
And,
your breakfast in one state but it's delivered in another? Like you're on the like where and you're paying in another state. Like
Yeah,
I am sure there are huge sales tax implications around breakfast that we are
Kansas
just
City.
completely unaware of.
Kansas City would be a really good one because it like straddles like Missouri and Kansas, right? Like
Yeah.
you
Yeah.
could have like you literally could have order breakfast in Missouri and eat it in Kansas.
so another sales tax anecdote. I'm watching Nope last night. Jordan Peele's new movie just came out on Amazon, and I had seen it on the plane. So the second time you see a movie, you always catch more details. So they're walking
No
in like
spoilers.
no spoilers, no spoilers. They're walking
Okay.
around in like a Best Buy type store, and you could tell all the signs were covered with something else, but all the signs said, "We collect and pay our own sales tax." That's what they said on there, and they printed that and put it on there, and there was like a QR code, but I didn't catch to scan it. But I just thought that was interesting. That's what, like they're sitting there having a conversation, walking past the aisles, and I saw that behind them. Like we collect and pay our own sales tax. I guess that's good to advertise, but maybe it has some kind of tie into the movie. Who knows? If you watch Nope, take a look in the back there. Yeah, here's our preview for the illustrious Elite Eight.
So it's going to be Gusto going up against Slack, got it, and Ignition going up against Uncat.
Oh
Yeah.
wow.
Oh wow.
Those are
Oh.
So these
All
are
right, so my prediction of who's going to make it to the Final Four, I'm going with Gusto versus Ignition in the
I'm
Final
there
Four.
I'm with you, Terrell.
Ignition's going to
Yeah.
need to push it because we all know Uncat can come out
They've got a strong-
swinging.
They've got a strong game.
Yeah, you got to beat about 300 votes. Ignition also got about 300 votes in the last.
But I
one
see
before.
Gusto come. I see Gusto winning because Slack's not going to do any. They don't care. They're not going to do any marketing.
No, it's definitely going to be Gusto on the top of that bracket.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, we'll see. We'll see. I mean, get paid or communicate, right? Look at payroll. We'll get paid. Ignition is getting paid too. So Gusto's paying
Well,
people.
I think Gusto was a little bit more on pay your people.
Yeah.
Which
That's
you
it.
can't run a business without paying your people. They don't want to talk to you. They don't want to talk to you on Slack if you're not paying them.
Hey, you can't
Doesn't
run a
matter
business
what you
without
pay them on
people.
Slack unless you're
You
paying them.
tell Chat GPT you can't run a business without people, right? We all need people. People are the most important pillar of our practices. So
I don't want to make ChatGPT mad at me during this conversation. Let's get through this conversation, then I'll tell them that afterwards.
them. All right. That's important. So that's the preview for that round, and here's the
Earmark
preview
and
for
future
the
firm, cloud accounting. It could literally be earmark and cloud accounting.
Blake.
Yeah, I don't know. I mean, as much as I would love for that to happen, cloud accounting is going to have a hard time against Jason's stats. His YouTube is just incredible.
Yeah, but I
Have,
think
have you?
in terms of total reach, I think you guys have more like subscribed users. So you're going to need to do some actual marketing.
Yeah,
Yeah.
if
Well,
you
so
want to win,
when does the voting end for this round?
Saturday.
So you
Saturday.
got a
Okay.
week, a
So
little bit less than a
okay.
week.
So
Hmm.
I have to put in the next Cloud Accounting Podcast episode, I'm going to put an ad for the Accounting High bracket to make sure that
Hmm.
our listeners come
Yep.
out and support Cloud Accounting Podcast. 'Cause I think
And
if
you
we can
might
do
even
that,
consider an email.
we might. I'm to be honest, like this is so embarrassing. Like we don't really have an email list.
Well, this is a little embarrassing too. This is our email. We're building our email list with this bracket challenge. That's our email list. So
We,
what?
we
Yeah.
yeah.
I don't think that's embarrassing. It's a really good.
Thank you, Allison. Yeah.
Yeah.
It was well. So Blake, you guys do email out with Earmark, and Earmark is going up against Future Firm, and I think that's how you beat
Yes.
Future Firm is Earmark emails your email
We
list.
can send. We got thousands on that.
I'll
We
make
can
some
send.
battle cards. I'll
Wow.
make battle cards for the matchups for you.
And
And
all I
you do your
ask, Blake,
thing.
is that you
Yeah.
thank the Grove for your like Mitch and the Grove in there.
Absolutely.
Just throw
Done.
us a bone. Throw
Well,
us a bone.
Well, this is like Game of Thrones stuff going on
you're
right here, right now
carrying
on the
you're
live stream.
carrying the Grove with you though because you guys have a partnership. So it's like you're
Yeah.
carrying it on your back into the next round. They're both green anyway, so you just kind
Well, the
of.
Grove has thousands of users, so we're actually exposing. It's like a vice versa thing, right?
But and you also want Earmark to win, so you're going to support Earmark.
We totally want. Although we have a very high respect for Ryan as well. So because we've been working. Ryan has been a friend of, ours for many years. So it's like these are for me. These are devil's choices.
Now, Allison, is the Grove an open community? Do you pay to be in it? Is it
You
free? Is
don't
it
pay.
paid? Is it
You
open?
don't.
Is it
You
closed?
you do not pay. We're exploring a category of content that's like so technical and so juicy that you might pay for it, but we're gonna make lots of codes available so people can get them for free,
Cool.
and then they'll come over to. And then I've got to talk to you about whether we do CPE for courses as well as webinars.
CPE for everything. That's my motto.
Yeah.
CPE for everything. I've got a
Bit of
lot
a
of
lift,
stuff that
though.
could get some CPE. I got 5 week semester here. Maybe we need to talk about that too.
Let's talk.
Accounting
Let's talk.
High
We're-
needs to have exams.
So what do we think? Do we think it's going to be Earmark against Jason, or do we think it's cloud accounting against Earmark, or do we think it's
Be honest, guys. You're not going to hurt my feelings. Give me the truth.
Terrell?
I think my pick would be Future Firm versus Cloud Accounting Podcast in the Final Four.
I think
so?
I think it really depends on if Stats makes a video for this.
He could do it. It could be so funny. Like it could be hilarious.
If he does
I
that,
know.
when I actually don't think he will. I think that he still just wants to he wants people to vote without him even telling them to. And that I think is kind of in its own a little too much
It's
too-
the too cool. It's the too cool for school approach, but you know what? It's working for him, right? Because he's made it all this way with just sheerly on the back of his popularity and the content that he's producing.
So I do not think David Leary will want to lose. I think Blake is kind of feels safe here because he's on both. But David
He
is
wins
too.
either
but
way.
Actually, yeah, with David on my team,
David is going to carry you to the final.
Yeah.
He's going to carry you to the championship. I saw his prediction, and what I loved about what he did. So David created a graphic that he overlaid on top of you decide who wins, and he has a cloud accounting podcast wins the bracket challenge.
Yeah.
It was genius on its own. He also had you guys going up against QuickBooks, so to be fair, he's going to
Well,
have to redo that prediction.
as we have all learned in the recent elections in this country, the best thing to do is to declare victory as soon as possible. And that's what David has done. He has declared victory before the votes are counted.
Wins with an exclamation mark. And you know what? It never occurred to me that somebody could do that. Like I put this together and I laid it up for him. I basically handed it off and said,
Yeah.
you've got this. You can now claim victory. And it looked legit. So
Yeah. Well,
I'll,
and this is David being David, because when
He's
he
so
goes to
cheeky.
conferences, right? Have you ever seen David at a conference, like when he worked at Melio? They showed up and nobody knew who Melio was, but by the end of Scaling New Heights, everybody knew who Melio was, right?
I
Like
was
that's
I was there was one Scaling New Heights. Actually, gosh, it might have been Sleater. No, maybe it was Scaling New Heights, and like no, maybe it was Sleater. Anyway, it doesn't matter. There was one conference in 2014 where I was assigned as David's handler.
wow.
That was my job. That was my actual job it was 2014,
and that was the
all of,
beginning of Allison's crisis.
and
Uh,
I was his handler. And there's a
She's still
photo of
recovering.
us. There's a photo of it's like hi, like on the back of your T-shirt it said hi, my name is Allison. And, hi, my name is, and you could fill in something,
mhm.
and I'm here too. And people were filling in like I'm here to learn, I'm here to network, I'm here to whatever. And David wrote, hi, my name is Allison, and I'm here to be David's handler. And there's a T-shirt where I'm looking, and he's got the back. It was hilarious. I don't have the T-shirt anymore, but I have the picture somewhere. I'll see if I can dig it out. It's so
So
funny.
I've
You
told
gotta
this.
you gotta dig that up.
And
I've
just ask David about it. He'll remember.
I've told the story
Yeah.
many times, but I'll tell it again. There is no accounting high without David Leary. So
Really?
Blake knows that I was struggling trying to rebrand and rename the show because Sons of CPAs was just, and I was going through so many names, like exhausted Blake just running names by him, and then he was helping me with some names. Accounting dropouts came up once, and all kinds of things. Actually, I think this was also around the time that you didn't like Accounting High, but it's also David the reason for Accounting High. So this was at Accounting Web Summit. One of maybe the first night there,
The one and only.
he was helping me brainstorm. I said I want to be more like kind of have more reach, be more gender neutral because it was Sons of CPAs, and also expand beyond CPAs and be more accountant friendly. And he said, "How about I'm not high on accounting?" So, that sort of double entendre of like, because he knows how I talk. I talk nonsense half the time anyway. And I liked it, but I didn't. That wasn't it. And then I have been playing on this whole next generation, metaphor for a long time now, with the Sons of CPA. So I still want something next generation, and it just occurred to me the next day. It's like high is high school, and
But it's also I'm high on accounting. So it works on both ways. Like there's an uplifting of the I loved it because I see it as like not only next generation, but it's also like encouraging people to of
an
any age
accounting
to go
high.
of any age to go in. You can get an accounting high.
Yeah,
And I
yeah.
don't know about you guys, but I'm geeky enough to like if I get something to balance that was really gnarly, I'm dancing around the room.
Oh yeah.
Right?
Well, we all get high on accounting on this call. Like this is our thing. Like we've dedicated our lives to the profession. So
Yeah.
yeah, that's maybe we'll get David on next week to
Okay.
comment on the matchups and all this fun. So
So now we're at the Elite Eight.
we're at the Elite Eight.
Mhm.
I can't call it because Uncat is the upset, but this is how these real brackets look. You always have some unexpected things, and you always have the big players that are too strong to
Gusto
lose.
for sure, though. I think we can call that one. So it's Gusto.
Yeah, Gusto. I don't know what to say about the earmarked future firm. I still haven't given my prediction. Honestly, I think it depends on the promo. It depends on who wants to win. If you want to win this, it's like you both have large audiences. Future
Okay, it's
Firm,
like, how bad do you want it?
if Future Firm were to go up against Earmark and win, and then go up against Cloud Accounting Podcast, I'm not sure. I'm not. I don't think it could. I don't think Cloud Accounting Podcast could lose. If you guys even promoted it like it did that, actually did that with the ad, you guys would blow it out the water. So we'll see.
We will
And
see.
actually,
Well,
I gotta say,
a fun thing to do with Cloud Accounting Podcast would be get all your former um, guests and to send out something. So you really could, boy, you could knock this one out of the park.
Yeah.
And then the other thing that people don't do, which they should do in their social, is people can win a ticket to Hawaii. Like
And
they
I
can
have
win
been
a
talking about
trip.
that actually strategically. So, Allison, this is a lesson on marketing, and you're a marketing genius, as one would say. You've been like the what do you called with the influencers? You're like the influencer whisperer, right?
Yeah, it's so funny because I was at a place in a time in the world where we didn't really know what influencers were and there wasn't like a word for it. Like when I started out into it, there wasn't a word for it, right? Like 2005. But the whole idea is that if you shine light on them and you make them look good and you bring out the goodness, then there's an art and a science to it, and it comes around and pays off goodness. So that's kind of all I really did was like figure out what are these people's superpowers and how do they want to talk about them, right? How do they want to display them? So this is what I'm saying. If Blake and David were to look at all the people that have gone through that have really had a good time on Cloud Accounting Podcast and then sent them out something and said, "Hey, win a free ticket to Hawaii." I mean, who doesn't want a vacation to Hawaii,
Well, Blake too
right?
is doing this in a way with Earmark. He is
Mhm.
putting other platforms on there for them to
That's right.
shine,
That's
and
right.
if they were to all promote Earmark, then you would have a fighting chance to beat Future Firm. You've had a fighting chance to win it all because if they were
Yeah.
promoting Earmark, everybody on that platform.
So the Grove team will promote Earmark because we will do that.
I,
It'll
I
be
want to see
hard.
Blake play himself. I want to see him play himself in the final four of this challenge.
Well, then he's just kind of like he just wins. He's just like winner chicken dinner.
Yeah,
It's like
then
he
you just
doesn't
can't
care.
lose. Well,
Yeah.
save that feeling because there's a next year people are gonna be gunning for you, Blake. Next year,
yeah, I don't know.
every bracket's gonna come to win.
Mhm.
But this is all like I think this is all a big marketing exercise too for a lot of anybody, for like firm owners or anybody in the marketing
Mhm.
space, because I'm taking all different things that I've learned throughout all
Mhm.
marketing, like from Blake. I learned a lot from Blake when I was helping him with Earmark. Allison, I've learned a lot from you just watching you from afar. Terrell is actually helping me with a lot of this.
Yeah.
He's our executive producer, and he runs the library at Accounting High. So I'm just learning from everybody else around me, and this is turning out to be super fun marketing exercise for me. Like
Yeah.
getting everybody else, seeing what platforms actually perform and what they're doing, and what they're doing to get people to vote for them in a silly competition.
Yeah, and you
Like
know what would be really cool, Scott, is if all the people that have joined like Accounting High through this, if you polled them afterwards and said which brands would you like to hear from, like specifically, and
the
then
long
pass that
tail.
along,
Yeah.
you'd actually get a lot of goodness because of the sharing aspect there as well. So there's like a whole like program you guys could put around this if you, yeah,
Yeah, it's
yeah,
there's a long tail. So I think one thing
hmm
we've discussed is like using each month for the rest of the year as themes,
yeah,
and we take each of the 8 brackets that we started with, and those are the themes for the month, and then we
amazing.
go deeper into those platforms from each of the 8
hmm
brackets. So then
hmm
every year it might be different too. So we get to go deeper with the new players, or
And
you
it's
know
more incentive for people to get into that eight, right?
right, yeah. And
Yeah.
the way to get in is all by total nominations. Like we're not trying to be the puppet masters of this. We're trying to make sure that other people are getting their names in here,
hmm
and we're just making it an open forum. So
Yeah,
I think that's basically what Blake is doing with CPE on Earmark.
he is.
Well, so
I'm
I will
nervous.
say it will
I'm
be.
nervous.
And this coming week will be a very interesting week for, I think, for everyone. So everyone who's on the live, and thank you everybody who's been joining in the chat. Make sure you get out and vote this week, because we are down to the Elite Eight. So we're gonna see who moves on to the Final Four. So it'll be interesting to see. I guess, Scott, do we have plans to release kind of like the halftime scores, like,
They're
midweek?
close. Yeah. So
Okay.
here's what I did not do last week because the other week it backfired. So when I released the halftime scores, a lot of people just either didn't vote or they didn't talk about it if it was a blowout. If it's close at halftime, which will be like Wednesday, I'll post the halftime scores. And I don't know if it's a blowout, I'll probably hold back. But yes, and then this way we get to see, because I could do it up until like 10 minutes left in the second half on Friday, and just say here there's still time left on the game clock, too. For the close matchups, that'll be fun. So
Gotcha. Awesome, man. Any more gifts we're doing? Any more giveaways for tonight?
we're good. I think we're gonna wrap a little
right.
earlier than last time. But thank you everybody for joining.
This was so fun. I'm so glad you asked me. I didn't really know what to expect, but it was super fun.
Oh yeah. Well, Allison, you've been a marquee in this whole thing. I can't believe you won 3 times last week because none of that was planned either. So that was dope.
Wait, I won 3 times?
Well, last week Licio won its first round
Oh
matchup,
yeah. I was
and
gonna say,
the
yeah.
Grove beat out Tanya's bookkeeping boot camp, and
And
you
I
won
got
the first
cool mouse pad
Chaz. Yeah.
from Kate. Yeah.
All right. Well, Blake's taking a selfie of the live stream, so dope. I think this worked out.
I had to record it.
Yeah.
I need content for my Instagram, guys.
There you go.
Gotta be.
Okay. Well,
I never
this was
thought I'd
super
hear you
fun.
say that, Blake. I need content for my Instagram. This is great. Yeah. So
Awesome. Well, hey,
See you
big
guys.
congratulations to Avalar for winning the tax bracket. So I know we
Amazing.
briefly talked about that, but yeah, for Avalar, great job winning the tax bracket. And we'll be looking forward to the Final Four next week, man.
Final Four next week. Yeah, I got to reach out to Avalera. Blake, I might need a contact there because then we can get them to give away some stuff. So that's
You bet.
I don't have anybody
I'll
there.
hook you up with Nancy and
Dope.
Allison. Allison, so awesome to see you. Like, this was so much fun. Terrell, I feel like I got a double dose of Terrell this week. Yeah,
Can never
awesome.
get enough Terrell. Awesome. Thanks everybody.